Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I know what that sound means. Time for In the Paddock F1 Greenie and the Cheese. Round 6 of the F1 season takes us to the States for the first of 3 times, but this is the 67th time that we've raced in the States. We're in South Beach, Miami, for the Miami Grand Prix. Miami, known for those beaches and a whole bunch of other things we're going to get into here. But while you're there, you got to hit South Beach. Hit the little beach with the glitz and the glam. Maybe take a stroll down the Miami Riverwalk. Maybe hit up a little Havana. Get a little bit of that Cubano food in you. Yes, sir. And of course, maybe you always got to take a strip down Ocean Drive for the Art Deco hotels, restaurants, bars, and nightclubs. You know, you got to shake your thing all night long. This ain't no travel show. This is an F1 show. We're racing the Miami International Autodromo. Why you call it an Autodromo? It's a parking lot, for Christ's sakes. But it's 3.36 miles, 19 corners, 3 DRS zones. You give it the full beans for 59% of your lap. And oh, what a weekend we got. Sprint race was exciting. K-Mag was a, pinball? Do you want to call it anything else?
K-Mag?
The race.
You talking about K-Mag?
The pinball during that sprint race. Pinball.
Not good.
But then we got to the race. Sergio almost took out the entire front of the field, locking it up into turn 1. But we got a mid-race safety car, which benefited Lando. But maybe that's his lady luck as he goes and takes his maiden win in Formula 1. Max takes second. Leclerc rounds out the podium. We're caffeinated. We're medicated, Greenie. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Quickly after the race, we're jumping on here. And thanks for jumping on with us as well in the Paddock F1, Greenie and the Cheese. Thank you all so much for support recently. Not just recently, but 2024 has been just a phenomenal year for us. Coming off another phenomenal month. And all because of you guys and everyone listening. So, as always, check us out on YouTube. Just hit Greenie and the Cheese in the search box. We'll pop right up, as well as send us an email. Fill up our mailbag in the Paddock USA at gmail.com. If we like what we see, we'll talk about it on the show. So always a great way to stay involved. Holy mother of Moses, Lando Norris. I would say Lando would win a race when Ferraris go blue. And here we are, Miami 2024, snapping a Max Verstappen's, I believe, 6-race U.S. win streak. And yeah, we have some parity for a moment. Obviously, Max hit that bollard and did not look the same after that. Lando definitely just drove the race of his life after the Koningsdag incident in Amsterdam. I don't know, they're like unwrapping his face like an episode of Twilight Zone. Maybe a new Lando emerged from the cocoon that he was released from. And this is the new Lando. He's got a real like Empire Strikes Back Luke Skywalker vibe going on right now. It's like he went to Dagobah, and I think he could be that Jedi warrior that we're all waiting for.
He went to Amsterdam. He got swapped by the Wampa. You know, had to go in the tube. You know, the little health tube there to regenerate, and he came out a different person.
It's true.
Absolutely. Well, the upgrades McLaren brought also were definitely spot on.
Yeah, that helped.
Because Lando was fast the entire weekend, you know, out of the box. I mean, he was putting up crazy times on the mediums, and everybody else was putting up times on the softs. So, I mean, that car was working all weekend, but Red Bull struggled pretty much most of the weekend. Max was not happy the entire weekend, pissing and moaning about understeer, oversteer, this, that, and the other thing. So, definitely wasn't a good weekend for them, and McLaren capitalized. You know, safety car definitely helped out too. Max making a mistake, hitting the bollard, definitely did some kind of damage to that car. Because when he came in first pits, they were putting a couple cranks of wing in the front of that car. So that tells me that the front definitely had some damage on that wing from the bollard, pushing that thing around. So Yeah, but kudos to Lando, finally getting that monkey off his back. Long time coming. I mean, he should have had it years ago in Russia when but his team didn't bring him in and put the wet tires on and left him out there, or he made the
In the
call to stay out
rain.
before
In the
it started
Russian
to
rain.
pour rain, and before it just started pouring rain, and just he was toast at that point. So, I mean, but it was a long time coming. Deserves it. Kudos to Lando. That's time.
Yeah, a little redemption for Lando. And like we talked about preseason, and like we talked about pretty much every week, is for those who say Max is just going to run away with it again and going to win every race, or think that there's nothing to root for on race day, you're wrong, because last year was, as we talked about, was almost like a total fluke. How Max won pretty much every race. That's not normal. He already has lost just as many races as he did all last year. All last season, right? He only lost to 3 or 2. Carlos won 1 and Perez won 2, so maybe 3 races he lost.
3. Yep.
I think that's right. Yep. So he's pretty much just there, which really goes to show that last year was just, in many ways, a fluke. I really am very impressed with Max Verstappen's maturity, the way he got out of the car, the way he, as almost an elder statesman in this case, went over to Lando and congratulated him afterwards. Was really everyone was rooting for Lando. Now, if he continues his winning ways, they're not going to be so supportive and rooting for him as far as the other teams are concerned. But today, absolutely, what awesome to see on the track, seeing everyone out there during the podium celebration, really rooting for Lando and rooting him on. And obviously, those who aren't Max Verstappen or Red Bull know that it's not a winnable season, most likely. Ferrari stays in the mix with the 3-4. Charles Leclerc back on podium again. It's his third podium of the year. So Ferrari looking good.
He's finished in the top 4 in every race, I think.
Every race. So how about that for Charles Leclerc? And finally, Nico Hulkenberg caught up to Ollie Bierman on the points list. So not doing too bad. Not doing too bad.
Another point here about McLaren. If you think about this, year ago, Miami, McLaren finished like a minute and a half behind Max Verstappen.
And that's 7 seconds ahead.
They finished today 7 seconds ahead. So
look at that.
How about that? How about that for some car development? How about that?
Well, remember where McLaren was last year. We didn't think McLaren was going to win a race in this generation of vehicles. After the way they started last year.
The car came out. The car was bad.
Car was a really clunker. Bad. It was a clunker last year. And what Zak Brown has done and what that team has done from top to bottom, man, Zak Brown, he is really becoming a much more prominent face in Formula One, and him and Lando could be, like the next Corner and Verstappen, or Lewis Hamilton and Toto Wolff. I think it's possible. Maybe not in this generation of cars, but maybe the next generation of cars could be a McLaren generation of cars. Maybe not a Ferrari generation. But only time will tell. But today is Lando's day. He almost lost his face. The man took it in the face and survived. A wounded dog, my friend, a wounded dog is a dangerous thing. And it was here. But yeah, that whole arc, the whole arc of Lando over the last couple weeks here has been pretty wild. Yeah. What a day. Oscar Piastri was right up there as well. And then his day fell apart. So McLaren lost a little bit of thunder there.
He keeps getting some bad luck.
Bad luck again. And so he ends up way in the back, out of the points. That's really it from the top. Sergio Perez definitely disappointing again. All weekend, Sergio Perez. And But the day is Lando Norris's. Good for
Absolutely.
him, man. He was crying right out of that car. The emotion, overjoyed. Nothing like winning your first Formula One race and doing it in Miami. Come on now. You're going to do it anywhere outside
Well,
of
it's gonna be
Vegas.
party. It's gonna be a party down there tonight.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah, or maybe like Silverstone or something like that. That's a good place to go and a good place to win. Well, yeah, I mean, your home Grand Prix to win your first is a whole other thing. But yeah, that's all I really got to say about that, man. Congratulations.
No,
Unbelievable. Absolutely. Really, and I truly mean unbelievable in that word because many of us didn't think, you personally didn't think that Lando would win. I did predict before the season that Lando Norris would win his first race of his career in 2024, and got that one right. So we'll talk about that later in the show. Greenie Bucks. I know we have momentarily, sir. I'm shining up my helmet, putting it on, getting it nice, and snug, and fit. Take a couple laps, or at least one lap, through your madness. I don't know if I'm ready for that.